It's 17 after 7. I am Imus in the morning. As you know, it was Monday night that WNBC Channel 4 News presented Pat Harper as a co-anchor for Chuck Scarborough. Real whiz there. You know, I'm hunked off at Tom Brokaw, by the way.
Why?
Because here I've been a big supporter of this clown.
Yeah.
And talking about what a decent, nice guy is and how, you know, unassuming stuff saw me in the elevator the other day. So he's telling me how he listens to us all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't care whether, we have 5 million people listening. I don't care if he listens or not. But I thought it was nice because I watch him on the news. I like Dan Rather and very close friends with Dan Rather. It doesn't make any difference. I still watch Brokaw, switch back and forth, you know, because I think Brokaw's good.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I think Brokaw's excellent. So what I read in the paper, this cretin this Brokaw goon does maybe a little strong goon, does an interview in the paper and talks about how he gets up in the morning and listens to All News Radio. What the hell are you going to find out listening to All News Radio, Brokaw? God, they ain't nothing on All News Radio, man. If you're listening to INS, they don't even have a helicopter. You get all the news you want right here.
That's it.
You know? Anything happens, we're going to tell you. Jesus, what the hell do you think we're going to do?
Yeah.
People get up and want to find out if the world's come to an end tonight. Well, I'll tell you what the hell's going on. Or Charles will tell you, one of us. Says, I like to listen to All News Radio to get a feel for what's going on. You ain't going to get a feel for what the hell's what's going on listening to All News Radio. I'm going to tell you that now. You're going to find out what the hell's going on by listening to me.
That's it.
Got my finger on the pulse of what's going down, Jack.
Oh.
Jesus, it got me angry. What the hell is he talking about? He gets here about 10 o'clock this morning. I get that goon on the phone, Mark.
Fire him.
We're not going to fire him. I just want to find out if maybe he was misquoted. Maybe I've just made a fool of myself. Maybe, perhaps I've gone too far, yes. It's 19 after 7, Imus in the morning. I listen to All News Radio to get a feel for what's going on. I'll tell you what the hell is going on. All they do over there is read wire copy, man. You get Chuck with the news here and get my incisive analysis of what's going on. You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry I got carried away there. Stuff like that makes me angry. That's stupid. She's too bright a guy to be listening to All News Radio. I'm serious, man. I mean, that's just, All News Radio is for morons. People who can't read. Really, if you check how they skew in terms of people who make money in education, skew very low. Because people who listen to All News Radio are morons. Well, I'm sure. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm just saying that, I've listened to All News Radio once in a while, just, turn it on, see what they're doing and stuff, and they're never talking about just stupid stuff. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world INS thing. That's stupid. You try to listen to them to find out what the hell's going on, and they have a certain kind of format. See, they do the God. I don't even know when they do the real hard news, so you know whether the world's blown up or not. But then they go for 22 minutes and they do a bunch of other stuff that doesn't make any difference, and they won't violate that format. I don't care what happens. They have these ads talking about, if something happens, you got to turn to 1010. That's ridiculous. That's all they have going for them. Do you think if something... let me ask you this. If something seriously happens, don't you think I'm going to tell you about it? Of course. Or Howard's going to tell you about it?
Sure.
I don't know about Howard, but I sure as hell will. And Howard will too. But, do you think if something serious happens in this world that we're just going to sit around here and play another Paul McCartney record? No! There isn't any reason to listen to them. There's no entertainment value. There's nothing going on. And there's no reason to listen to All News Radio, and I'm sick of you people listening to them. And they shouldn't have any ratings. I beat the hell out of them this time. We have 25% more listeners than INS or CBS, any of them. But so somebody's wising up. But most of you are, who listen to news radio are idiots. If I find out that you know what I'm going to do? If I find out that you've listened to any news radio, I'm not going to let you listen to this program. That's absurd to think that you have to listen to All News Radio because something's going to happen and nobody else is going to tell you about it. That's crazy. I'm sorry I got carried away, but I got angry about it. Brokaw started it. So I listened to All News Radio to find out, would get a feel for what's going on. Well, you moron. That's ridiculous. I like Tom Brokaw. He's a fine young man, and but he just made one stupid mistake. I guess we'll have to let him off the hook for that. Well, now we don't have time for this Pat Harper thing because I think I got a little carried away. So I'll do it later. Let's check the N-Copter now with WNBC's Roz Frank. Good morning, Miss Frank.
Good morning, Mr. Imus. To the north, we've had problems coming in on the southbound Bronx River Parkway at Fordham Road. An overturned car there. For a while, 2 lanes were closed, so we have quite a bit of a backup there. All lanes should be open now, but consider using the Deegan or the Hutch coming southbound. That should save you some time. Also, southbound on the Merritt, approaching exit 42. In that area, reports of a deer on the shoulder, so some rubbernecking delays there. If you're coming in from the south, the eastbound Staten Island Expressway has about a mile and a half of heavy traffic to the Verrazano. The Verrazano itself moving very well, upper and the lower level into Brooklyn. On the inbound Gowanus, did have a disabled car blocking the inside right lane at the canal, so we're heavy to that point. Prospect good, Battery Tunnel good, northbound lower BQE. Standard delays, pretty much normal getting up to the inbound Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn Manhattan bridges are good. Williamsburg Bridge already on the heavy side this morning from just around mid-span. Triborough Bridge inbound had an earlier tie-up going into the Manhattan tolls, a disabled car. That one should be cleared. 59th Street Bridge upper better than the lower. And again, the Midtown Tunnel this morning late, opening up that third lane. Alternate side in effect in all 5 boroughs. Be sure and fasten your WNBC belt for safety's sake. And we'll have the Lincoln and the Holland coming up in just about 5 to 10 minutes on WNBC.
You know, I'm really upset with you.
With me?
Yeah, and that goofy boyfriend of yours, John Moran.
Just because he called you a transvestite? Guess it's time for a haircut, huh?
I think my hair is fine.
I do. I think you have beautiful hair.
I'm walking out of the Vertical Club, and here comes another loser in a 3-piece suit, and it's your goofy boyfriend.
What do you want him to wear? An organdy dress?
No,
He's
but
a stockbroker. He has to wear those kind of clothes.
and he told you that he thought.
Somebody said, hey, and he turned around and he said it. He thought it was a woman. He thought it was a transvestite, and it was you.
I don't think that's funny.
You don't?
No, I mean,
I thought it was a hoot.
I think it's insulting.
Well, I guess insults in the eye of
Was I wearing a dress?
I don't know, were you?
I don't remember.
A little tutu?
NBC.
Who the hell do you think you are? Get up out of bed and you're screaming at me.
Well,
You're screaming at me.
I wasn't screaming at you. Do you listen to all?
Radio, you're screaming at me.
Do you listen to all
You
news?
want to start my day?
Well, I guess settle down. I guess it's not a good way to start your day.
Jeez Louise.
But I was a little angry.
All right.
Do you listen to All News Radio ever?
Yeah, all the time.
You what?
All the time.
You're a moron, aren't you? Goodbye. NBC.
Simon?
Yeah.
I think news radios are important. Like, everyone wants to know about ant farms in Iowa, don't you?
Yeah. NBC.
Don,
Yeah.
I just heard you on the radio, and I agree with you wholeheartedly about the old news.
Yeah.
Except that you're yelling at those people, and the only people that are listening to you are your faithful listeners. Those other jerks can't hear you anyway.
Yeah, they can't. No, hear about it.
All right, buddy.
7:25. Imus in the morning. Speaking of news, here is all the news you need. You don't need to sit through 22 minutes of ridiculous nonsense to get the news. We have the news right here. And if something important happens, we'll tell you about it. Con, how many times do I have to go over this?
Okay, Doc, fine.
You know, I read an article, Charles. What's the matter? What's wrong?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
That Tom Brokaw, who professes to be a big fan of ours, says in a newspaper he listens to All News Radio to get a feel for what's going on. He's not going to get a feel for what's going on listening to those goons sitting over there reading wire copy. You know who Dan Rather listens to?
No.
Us!
Fine, Don, fine.
He seemed pretty well informed.
Fine, Don, fine.
WNBC News is sponsored by Cooper Tires. See Joe or Bob at L&F Tire, 480 Targhee Street, Staten Island, New York. What's wrong?
Nothing here. Nothing here.
Good morning, Charles McCord.
Good morning, Don. Did you pass me the post?
The what?
Post.
The Post?
Yeah.
What for?
Got to read the news. Now, here in the tri-state area, there are some big stories going on we're following for you this morning.